Coming up this week on Montclair News Lab, we meet a Patterson family who lost their loved one due to gun violence.
He's a good kid, he's a hard worker, he's about to get married, he's going back to school.
We will see what the mayor is doing to turn crime around.
We just don't want anyone to be a police officer because unfortunately we had 7 crooked cops.
Montclair State police officers getting together for a great cause.
The torch run was an amazing experience. I was able to give back to my community.
And later, how college students use yoga to de-stress. From the School of Communication and Media at Montclair State University, this is Montclair News Lab.
Hello and welcome to Montclair News Lab. I'm Grace Rowland.
And I'm Carly Henriquez. Each week, we scour campus, Montclair, and New Jersey to bring you news and stories we'll be talking about all week.
We start today with a look at gun violence in New Jersey. Though it's usually mass shootings that grab our attention, cities and towns across our state grapple with the effects of crime due to guns every single day. According to the latest New Jersey gun violence report, there were 96 reported victims for the month of August in New Jersey. 13 of them were fatal. Newark, Trenton, Camden, and Patterson topped the list for crime gun retrieval. Reporter Emily Alba takes us inside those statistics as we meet a family dealing with a tragic loss and a mayor trying to make changes.
This rally occurred in Washington, D.C. after the Parkland High School shootings. A year and a half later, there has been little change in federal gun laws. Not much has happened. In Patterson, New Jersey, the gun violence continues. In April, 4 shootings occurred in one 7-hour span. For the family of Jalik Burrows, gun violence is not about statistics or protests. Jalik was shot to death in a drive-by shooting in 2014. It was here on the intersection of North 6th and Temple Street where 3 men opened fire and shot the 27-year-old in the head. The family got a phone call that Jalik had been shot. They hurried to the scene.
They go, what's your son's name? And he says, my son's name, he says, Jalik. And he goes, no, when we used to coach him in football, what did they call him? And he goes, Juice. And the guy goes, that's him.
Though her head knew it was Jalik, her heart couldn't accept that her son was gone.
I was just like, why? He didn't bother anybody. Why? He was a good kid. He was a hard worker. He was about to get married. He's going back to school. He was doing why?
Delwana says her son was filled with hopes for his future.
He wanted to be a mechanical engineer for airplanes. And he was actually registered to start back up the week after, before he got killed.
Jalik's aunt, Machanga Blackman, was devastated by the news.
I felt robbed of my nephew, of course, and I felt robbed of memories that we could have made. He was my first nephew, and that hurt.
Blackman says that the city of Patterson is not doing enough in preventing these killings.
I know that Patterson can't stop the killings. They can't put the guns down for us, but I feel like police need to be more active. They need to do more community policing.
According to NorthJersey.com, Patterson has less cops on the street than it did 10 years ago. Patterson Mayor Andre Saya says that the town is working on hiring more police officers, but recently there was a corruption scandal, and the mayor wants to make sure he hires the right people.
So we just don't want anyone to be a police officer because unfortunately we had 7 crooked cops and they obviously were doing things that were illegal and a poor representation of the department.
The mayor also says that Patterson's commercial curfew ordinance, which requires businesses in high-crime areas to be closed by midnight, has helped police combat crime.
And we've seen a 70% decrease in crime in those areas. So I think it's fair to say there is a positive correlation between our action and the outcome.
Although Mayor Saya is working towards a safer community, Jalik's aunt says that gun violence has become a norm in the city of Patterson.
What upsets me the most is that we've become numb to the killings. every other day you see RIP on Facebook, and it's become our normal.
One town, one family, and one promising young man dead to gun violence. A new mayor hopes new laws and more police officers will help make a difference. From Montclair News Lab, I'm Emily Alba.
Edward R. Murrow was a pioneering American broadcast journalist. Every year, the Radio Television Digital News Association honors work that follows in Murrow's footsteps. This year, Montclair News Lab won for a broadcast that looked at the aftermath of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. A group of former and current Montclair News Lab students were all smiles as they went to the stage at Gotham Hall in New York to accept the award. They also got the opportunity to meet with well-known media professionals like David Begnaud, who is the lead correspondent at CBS This Morning, and the president of CBS News, Susan Zerensky. More good journalism. Each week, we check in with our school's newspaper, The Montclarian. Let's see what they covered this week.
This week at The Montclarian, our top story is in the news section on how CAPS is understaffed.
This week's front page story is College Hall renovations. There will be a Panera coming to College Hall and a new student center.
This week in entertainment, we are doing a student artist profile on Naya Dubourg. She is a junior theater studies major, and she will be appearing on the on-campus production of Really Really the weekend of October 25th through the 27th.
Make sure to pick up the new edition of The Montclarian every Thursday.
Being in college can be stressful, especially for freshmen who may be away from home for the first time. We're going to meet a freshman who found a way to cope with that stress, and it's something we can all benefit from.
I came into Montclair State University very stressed out and not knowing what to do, and I am an undecided major, so I had a lot of different classes, and I had so many courses and homework to do that I just felt like I was drowning.
One day, while walking back from class, Brianna was rescued.
I would pass the rec center on my way back from classes to my room every single day, and one day I saw a sign for yoga, and I thought to myself, you know what, I never really took it, but why not?
For students similar to Brianna, yoga instructors like Cameron Chernick can provide a better way to reduce stress. Cameron is passionate about yoga and has been a certified instructor for almost 2 years.
Yoga reduces stress because it helps release it from the body. You tend to hold tension a lot in your body. For example, when you're stressed, you scrunch up your shoulders. So when you do a shoulder stretch, it helps release that. It gets it out of your body. Also, in a lot of practices, especially how I teach a lot of mindfulness. So that gets your mind in the present and it keeps you off your worries and anxieties, lowers your heart rate, calms you down.
Yoga made me feel really uplifted, if that makes sense, and I had a lot of hard classes and difficult courses and a lot of homework, and yoga was really the one time for myself to be able to get away from all that and relax.
The Recreation Center at Montclair State University offers morning and night yoga. For more information, students can visit the Hawk Sync website.
It's now time to check in on the spooky happenings at our campus radio station, WMSC.
More to come after this. Don't go anywhere. Hi, George Simcoach from WMSC. We here at the radio station are getting ready for Halloween, and there's a lot of spooky stuff coming up. Picture this. So, in a small town in Colorado, there's a monster on the loose, and 3 cops are sent to investigate it. 2 of them are really getting into the case, and the other one doesn't want to have anything to do with it. But there's one thing that might be missing. To find out what happens next, tune into the radio drama, premiering soon near Halloween, written by our very own assistant production director, Alyssa Nogle. As always, tune into the 90.3 FM dial or the iHeartRadio app. Until then, this is George Shamgochin saying so long and have a spooky Halloween. Back to you guys in the studio.
We see Montclair State University police patrolling campus all the time, but there's a lot more that goes into what they do, as we see in this story produced by Jacob Deptula.
My name is Chris LaRose. I'm a lieutenant here at the Montclair State University Police Department.
My name is John Nielsen. I'm a police officer with the Montclair State University Police Department.
My name is Patrolman Amanda Rusticus. I've been employed with Montclair State University Police Department for 7 years.
I've been involved with the Special Olympics in one way or the other since 2011 by just participating in the Polar Bear Plunge in Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
I've been doing the Polar Bear Plunge for the last 3 years now. I first heard about it from people here at the department. Sergeant Nielsen actually told me about it 1 year, and it sounded really interesting to me, so I signed up and been doing it ever since.
This was my first year working with the Special Olympics. I've been donating for years, but this was the first year that I actually participated in the torch run.
The first one, it was just I've always wanted to do it, so I kind of just charged in head first, did it, jumped in, jumped out, dried off, and you were chilly for a little bit, but you were freezing for a reason.
It's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I've been hearing a lot of things about it. I like the beach, I like the water more than I do like running, so I figured it would be something that I would like to do better than actually running like a marathon.
The torch run was an amazing experience. I was able to give back to my community. I really enjoyed being a part of it, running with teams, other athletes of the Special Olympics, and other police officers. You know, it's a day that we were able to take off our uniform and replace them with sneakers, t-shirts, and shorts, and do it for a good cause.
When you go to the event and you see the athletes from the Special Olympics, they're leading the charge into the water. So when you have these athletes taking the plunge, because they're fundraising for themselves to be able to participate in the games or help out other Special Olympic athletes, that just kind of charges you up like enough to do it, like, you know.
But you don't have to jump in the water. People think you have to jump in the water, but you know what? These kids come out to support. You know what, the least I can do for 3 seconds is jump in the water, have a good time, because these kids battle things like this, you know, every day of their lives. So what's, 3 seconds for me to do it?
I believe that the reason you should donate to the Special Olympics, it's because I believe it gives them an opportunity to have hope and joy and just have fun, and also it brings their families together, and also brings us as a community together.
Are you ready for the photo of the week? Each week, Professor Thomas Franklin sends us a photo from his photojournalism class. This week's photo comes from Senior Melinda D. Pasquale.
Wow, the colors in this photo are really beautiful. The yellow really stands out with the blue.
I would agree, and also the reflection, how she still captured her face with that detail, really amazing.
Very amazing. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Montclair News Lab. Tweet us at MSU News Lab.
Also, visit our website, montclairnewslab.tv, for more. Thank you for joining us today. From Montclair News Lab, I'm Carly Henriquez.
And I'm Grace Rowland. See you next time. Yes, I still hear static in my ear. I don't think that's it.
This is the first edition of this semester's Montclair News Lab.
We're coming up on 9. Thanks for coming up on 9. Big 9.
This is our first show, and we're really excited.
We're doing great. This is the most fun I've had since I was playing with a barrel of monkeys about 5 years ago.